Last video, I showed you my exact Wealthsimple holdings. This is the spreadsheet that I use to help me map out what I'm investing in and how to allocate my money and things like that. So I'll just kind of walk you through this. This is the dollar amount that I'm investing per account on a weekly basis currently. So for my RRSP, I'm investing $300 a week. For my tax-free savings account, $164 a week, and then non-registered $411. So the total weekly contribution is $875. And then these are the different stocks or kind of tickers or ETFs that I have within those accounts. Now, this is a little bit of a simplified view. I recently did a major overhaul in terms of the different things I'm investing in. And so this is just kind of a simplified approach just to get me through the last few weeks of 2024. But then after I kind of go through this, I'll show you the full plan for 2025. So just at a high level, my RSP, I'm investing 35% of the total amount, or in this case, it's $300 into SPXL, into the RSP. And then in the TFSA, I'm doing $9 a week into Bitcoin, $65 a week into tech, $60 into CIAI. Both of these are technology-focused ETFs, and then $30 a week into SHLD, which is a defense-focused ETF. Now, some people might wonder, why do $9 a week into Bitcoin? That just seems so random. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want to have a little bit of skin in the game with Bitcoin, but I'm not really overly focused on it, and I don't really know what's going to happen with it, but I want to have a little bit in it. So if it goes up, that's awesome, but if it goes down, I'm not really losing a whole lot. So $9 per week over the course of the year is, $468. So I'm putting a little bit in, and some people might wonder why $9 a week, but it's just dollar cost averaging, buying it kind of a little bit as I go. And then in the non-registered account, HSU, which is a 2x leveraged S&P 500 ETF, and then VFE, which is just a regular S&P 500. So the thing I have to mention about the triple leveraged and the 2 times leveraged, I have a very specific strategy that I'm doing with those, and I definitely wouldn't recommend them for beginner investors at all. And I would say that once you kind of get to a bit more of an advanced stage and you have a specific strategy around it, that's fine, but I definitely would not recommend it as like a long-term holding for just the average person. Now, to go into 2025, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. This is my full investing plan for 2025. I developed this towards the end of November. And so for 2024, I'm just implementing just a kind of a lightweight approach to it. But then in 2025, I'm planning to go a little bit full out with setting all of this up. All right, so for 2025, very similar. RSP is going to be exclusively the S&P 500. The reason why is because I have the XXX one. The reason is because you can do light stock trading within the RSP, and so that's why I'm doing that one exclusively in that account. Then Bitcoin, so it's going to be $8, just kind of the way the math aligned. Then $100 into the SPXL, a bit into tech, a bit into CIAI for those AI stocks. Defense, and then here we have the 2x S&P, regular S&P, and then this is where we get into some that I didn't cover yet. So EQL, this is an S&P 500 equal weighted. So the S&P 500 ETFs are not equal weighted normally. They, the company in the first place or at the top of the list has like a bigger portion than the 500th company or even the 400th company. So this equal weighted ETF has every single company is owned in the correct proportion. So I guess if you have 100% and then you have 500 companies, each company represents 0.2% of the ETF. Whereas with a normal S&P 500, Apple might be number 1 and that might be like 5% of the total ETF. So the other two that I got here, I have a TSX, which is just a Canadian market, 2x leveraged one. And then I have just a normal Canadian market ETF. Again, any of the leverage ones I would not recommend for beginners. And then a little bit into gold, and then a portion into international markets. So still 850 per week's the target, but a little bit different, some new tickers on there and then kind of different amounts. But that's at a high level what the last few weeks of 2024 look like, and then the plan for 2025. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments.